Hello, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025, and I'm here again at the Steel Canyon Bridge. Back here 7 months ago to visit this bridge here. And went up to a small hill over that way, Cougar Mountain. Today, this is an after work hike because my days off Wednesday and Thursday are supposed to be a deluge of rain, so I'm trying to get a short after work hike in today and see how that works. So I'm trying to get to these random hills off in this direction. Here again, kind of where Spring Valley and Rancho San Diego kind of meet up. Not that far from Powell either. Powell's just down the road a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get to that single track trail. Try to head out that way towards that ridge line there. A couple of really small bumps I like to hit that are, I wrote them down here. The northern one is Hill 761. The middle summit is Hill 735, and the southern one is the highest at 780 feet. So I'm going to try to hit those three hills. And go ahead and get started. I'll probably backtrack a little bit. Go ahead and get started. I'll just go out that way. Alright, so I went way too far over that way, so I found a little path to get to this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be hiking along this way for a little bit, and I'm going to try to meet up with a pathway to hopefully get across the Sweetwater River and then get to the ridge line on the other side. Look at this huge broom backrest. This thing is massive. This is a monster broom backrest right here. Backrest sauropteroides. This thing is huge. That's crazy. That's a big one. Yeah, if my voice sounds really weird, because I'm dealing with yet another head cold, the second one I've had in a month's time. Luckily, last week, it struck after I was able to get my hike in last week. Last week's hike was a decent one. When I went up to East Mesa in Cuyamaca Rancho, I got really lucky. Really lucky. Alright, so first off, I want to take a look at this massive old sycamore here. Platanus racemosa. This thing is huge. I wonder if this is all part of one tree, one root system. It's possible. It might be all one root system, possibly. They are known to be multi-trunked. Yeah, this thing's pretty big. That thing is huge. That's an old sycamore right there. Wow. Could be two trees. Could be two separate trees that grow really close together. Probably not more than two trees, if even that. Alright. So yeah, I went on my hike, was feeling fine. I'm really grateful that I was able to get through a really good hike before I ended up feeling under the weather, which happened later that evening, Wednesday. A few hours after my hike, I started feeling a scratchiness in my throat, and that's how I knew something might be going on. And then on Thursday, my last day off, I ended up feeling pretty bad. Ended up feeling pretty ill. Some kind of virus, I'm guessing. It was not fun. Alright. Skirting under some coast live oaks for now. Right here, Quercus agrifolia, variety agrifolia. I'm still dealing with the cough right now. I actually missed 2 days of work because I was feeling horrible, and I usually work Friday through Tuesday. And I missed the first 2 of my 5 days of work because I was really not trying to either get worse or get somebody else sick. And I was trying to feel a lot better. There's another hill that I could possibly hit one day. I think it's hill 980. I think it might be a possibility. I think that's hill 980, I think. No, not 100%. So yeah. Pretty much trying to get out here and get some exercise before the rain hits. We've already had some rain showers earlier this morning. Right now it's probably close to 2 o'clock. It's probably we're like 1:45 right now. Let's see how this will work out today. Of course, this area is really close to San Miguel Mountain, right up there. Always point that one out because it's very prominently visible from a lot of areas here in San Diego County. Yeah, maybe that's not hill 980. It might be too low actually. But there's a hill that's about 980 feet or so up that way. Because that's Cougar Mountain. That's only 819 feet. So that looks like that's higher than that. So now I'm going to go ahead and break right here and start walking along this path. Let's see if I can get across the Sweetwater Bridge and start working my way into those hills. Right here on the side of the trail. Wow, these are massive thickets of western poison oak covering this whole area. All these gray bundles of stems and twigs. It's all poison oak. Toxicodendron diversilobum. All of that. That's all poison oak right there. That's crazy. Alright. I'm going to start moving along. Keep you updated with any interesting things that I see today. Like this decent sized scrub oak here in the canyon. Yeah, this looks like a Quercus acutidens, I believe. And hopefully I'm going to start looking into investing in a really strong magnifying lens so I can look at the trichomes or the hairs on the leaves of the scrub oaks so I can have a good idea of telling what is what so I don't have to hesitate every time or half the time. Alright, start working along this and enjoying these Goodings black willows. There's a lot of Goodings black willow up here. Alright, see you on the next clip and see what I find next. There's a decent sized lemonade berry right here. Look at that, Rus integrifolia, that's a pretty big one. And of course, Sambuca cerulean, the boo elder. Yeah, some pretty cool looking hills. Definitely get some peak climbs in here. Let's see. Let's see if there's a way I can get across. Yeah, some of these hills look pretty interesting as well. Some of them got some pretty big boulders. Alright, let's see. There's a big bird of prey up in that sycamore tree way over there. That right there, that spot right there. Yeah, I can't tell what species that is, but that's a huge bird. Probably a red-tailed or red-shouldered hawk, but I can't really see any color details. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wind up this way. There again, Cougar Mountain. A pretty short, pretty decent, pretty short, but pretty decent little workout hike. If you wanted to get some exercise, climb a peak, get some good views. Okay. All right. Let's keep this adventure pumping. All right, so as I'm moving along, it looks like the ridgeline I'm going to be trying to ascend once I can get across the bridge, if it's open. I think there's a bridge, should be a bridge up ahead, Sweetwater Bridge. And that's the ridgeline I'm trying to visit. It looks like part of it burnt recently. Like there's a burn scar up there, especially on the more towards the northern part of it. It's like there might be some fire scars over there. This side looks like there might be some chaparral growing. Yeah. Maybe next time I'm here, I'll take a look and see what kind of access these hills have, if any at all. I'd like to visit this side too. Be pretty cool to visit. But for today, I'm going to try to get to this ridge over here, which has the 3 small summits that I've been trying to visit today. Mapped them out a while ago. I got to see if I can actually get over there. If there's any access to those pathways on that side. So that's the first. That's a caveat. But yeah, that is my intended ridge line right there. So we'll see how that works out, and I'll keep you posted along the way. So a pretty nice canyon here. Pretty beautiful here. All right, a nice coast live oak right here. Yeah, stay on the trail. Gosh, there is so much poison oak growing around here. So much of it. But it is quite a beautiful little place. Very, very charming. We're in this little section of the canyon right here. There's some toyon over here. Some Southern California Virgins bowers. Of course, lots of coast live oak. It's always good to see. Always good to see. It's nicely wooded over here. Oh, look at this. Look at this Dudley Edulus. Look at how thick the leaves are on that. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. That's some crazy work right there. Wow. Even if I don't make it to the peak, just this alone is pretty nice to visit. And just enjoy being here in the woods. Yep, 2 peas in a pod. Toyon with the red pomes. Coast live oak. Ooh, and what do we have here? Okay. Of course, I'm going to watch out where I'm loading. There's a lot of poison oak, but we also got, false indigo bush. Amorpha fruticosa. Still have a few leaves left on them. These are deciduous. They shed their leaves in autumn, and they're leafless during the winter. Amorpha fruticosa. False indigo bush. Western false indigo. We've got 2 species of Amorpha here in Southern California. That one, Amorpha fruticosa, which is the lower elevation in canyons and near riparian areas, And then you have Amorpha californica, variety californica, which is usually in drier areas, in meadows, the edges of woodlands, and generally at higher elevations in the mountains. That's Amorpha californica, variety californica. The one we have here is Amorpha fruticosa. And then we still got some old dried grapes here on the Vitis Gurdiana. Yeah, we still got some grapes left over. They're all dried up now. That's pretty cool. The plants here in the canyon seem like they had a pretty good year. And yeah, California sagebrush. Last month's rains really woke them up. And then this week's rain should really keep them going. And here's a close-up of the twigs of Fremont cottonwood. Populus fremontii, subspecies fremontii. Trees that are leafless for winter. Pretty cool stuff down here. Like I said, you try to go off trail, you're going to be bushwhacking in all this poison oak. So not a good idea. All right. I'm going to keep checking this out and seeing what's next on this cool little adventure here near Spring Valley and Rancho San Diego. Keep you posted. Okay, looks like we're at the bridge. So, I guess you can keep going this way. Looks like there's a use trail or a trail going right up to that ridge over there. But my intention is to go this way, across the Sweetwater River. Now, time to explore this side and see if I can find a trail or something. Hopefully that could lead me up into those hills over there. So let's see. Here's a trail right here, right after we cross the river. Some type of pathway here. Let's see. Let's see if this will take me up to my intended destination. Okay. Start climbing. All right. Coastal sage scrub, here we are. Lots of California sagebrush on both sides of the trail. Yeah, it's very fragrant over here. It's a very happy smell. All right. Let's see if this leads all the way up into the hills. There wasn't any keep out signs, so as far as I'm concerned, it's all good, baby. All right. So that was the Sweetwater Bridge. Yeah. Yeah, there might be some other trails that I could use around here, maybe. Like I said, I'm trying to go up this way. So we'll see how this works out. All right. So we're crossing another road. So this little pathway led directly across the trail from where the bridge let me out. Now, I'm seeing a continuation of a trail past this little square shaped platform. So let's go ahead and head up this way. Let's see if this is the trail to the magic. All right, cool. So we'll see if I hit all 3 of them today. See how this works. Keep you posted as I climb up this hill. Alright, so I'm at this saddle right now. I had mistakenly gone through an area that I didn't even see a signage for being closed, because I didn't see a sign when I started climbing up the hill. Well, this is interesting. Alright, so I'm in a saddle right now. What I'm going to try to do is try to get up to this peak over here. Let's see, this should be Hill 761. Let me see. Let's see. Should be gaining some elevation pretty nicely soon. I was going to try to go all the way over there, peak 780, but apparently there's signage on this side for that hill there. It says that all public entry is prohibited on that side there, going up towards that hill. So I'm going to probably have to leave Hill 780 out of it. So I was starting to come across from the other direction, and I didn't see any signage. And so I started going along this trail, and then boom, when I started heading up to the ridgeline, I didn't see any signs about any closures. This is part of the San Diego National Wildlife Refuge. So I've been on a few of these type of lands before, but yeah, there's one sign on our side of the saddle that says San Diego Wildlife Refuge. On the other side, let's see, the other side it says all entry prohibited. So don't go that way. But as I was starting to come up from the other side, I didn't see any signs. Any signs. So I'm going to have to exclude all the filming I did unknowingly on that side. So yeah, kind of surprised because I didn't see any signage, and I'm always looking for it, always looking out for signage, because I want to follow the rules, and I want to be a good boy, lack of a better term. So yeah, I didn't see any signage from the Sweetwater River side, there were lots of "this is not a trail" signs. Stay on trail and this and that. Or is it "this is not a trail" on the side bound by the water, or along that big double track at the bottom. So I was thinking to myself, okay, I don't see any signs, I must be good to go. So if you're trying to do these peaks, pretty much I'd say just stick to Hill 761, and where that saddle is, when you're done, just use that trail cutting out and head back that way towards the big dirt road. It should be at the bottom. So I'm not going to include on my track where I accidentally and unwittingly and unknowingly went off the track. I'm not going to put that on my map. So map's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be the suggested way, and the mileage for that will be included coming up the suggested way instead. All right, most of the way up this hill. Yeah, and then get up to the top and I'll start pointing out some views and stuff. Probably have some pretty good views up here. Looks like it. All right, so I've come up a nice distance. I think I'm nearing the top of this rise here. Let's see. Is this going to be the peak? Yep. I think I'm just about on peak 761. Very nice. Okay. This is it. Peak 761. Here in the San Diego National Wildlife Refuge. Pretty cool. At least I made it up here. I didn't see any negative signage, so I just figured it was all good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a summit selfie and show you some views. All right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna go stand on the high point. I don't think I even got to the, oh yeah, I did get to the high point. It's right up there. I did step over it. Okay, well, now there are two other peaks I really wanted to visit today, but I'm assuming they're gonna be off limits. That's Hill 735, I believe. It should be Hill 735, and there's Hill 780. I wanted to visit those, but I guess I'm gonna have to be a good, responsible hiker and stay out, because like I said, at that saddle there is signage saying that public entry is prohibited on that side of the saddle leading up towards Hill 735. All right, so I guess it's time to point out some views. All right, I'm going to start off by looking west. So I don't really have to zoom out too much because some of our landmarks are pretty close. So just a little bit north of west, I'll zoom in for that a little bit. There's Mount Helix in the Casa de Oro / Mount Helix area, unincorporated area just above La Mesa. And that's over towards La Mesa. They're swinging southwest. This is Spring Valley right here, another community here in San Diego County. And then a little bit more to the southwest, Dictionary Hill. Dictionary Hills. We're pretty close to it, just a couple miles away. Dictionary Hill, and it has a very small little sub-peak hill, 924. If you want to check out that video, I did that back on the spring equinox of 2023. That was a fun hike. Beautiful hike. Lots of cool stuff up there. Now we're looking more southwest towards I think I can see Sweetwater Reservoir. I think I can see part of Sweetwater Reservoir just over there. And then I can see, looking more south, you can see that hill there decked out in lots of homes. Pretty nice. And now we're going to be looking southeast, and that is Mother Miguel Mountain. Most people hike up to that from, I think, Mount Miguel Park, which is at I believe the southern foot of it, I believe. And then now we're looking southeast, and of course there's San Miguel Mountain right there. Unfortunately, hiking up to that is illegal, or it's not permitted. I know people still do it, but yeah, I would love to have been able to hike up that. I've always admired that mountain for so many years. Knew about it when I was a kid, even before I was climbing peaks. And then we're looking more towards the east, and there is Lexington Peak. That's another hike I've done in this area. Done a few hikes in this general vicinity. That's a pretty cool hike. It's in a similar agency. It's part of the San Diego National Wildlife Refuge as well, and you can pick that up from. Why can't I not remember the name of the road right now? Proctor Valley Road. Pick it up from Proctor Valley Road. You can take a series of dirt roads, a dirt road to a use trail that leads you up towards the ridgeline, and there's a use trail that's often very faint that cuts its way through a couple of the other sub-peaks along the way. Actually, getting to Lexington Peak requires a little bit of off-trail style travel, because the use trail that runs along the ridge is very overgrown as you're heading west towards it. Okay, more east, of course, there are the mountains of the Hamul area. Of course, Lion's Peak right there, one of the prominent ones. And then looking out towards Gaskill Peak over there, the grayish one in the background, that's Gaskill. And then this ridge in the front, that's the greater McGinty Mountain area. It's another pretty nice hiking area. I've hiked that, but that was over 10 years ago. And I do have a photo slideshow if you're interested in checking that out to see some of the scenery that entails. And I think Sycuan Peak is the pointy one back there, I believe. I think that's Sycuan back there, I believe. Okay. Now we're looking northeast. That's out towards Viejas Mountain, above Alpine. And then a little closer at home, we have Peak 1783, and that's Dehesa Benchmark. I don't think there's public access to that. They're both, I believe, they're both listed on Peak Bagger, but I don't think you can. I think you have to get permission from the landowner, and I don't know how to do that. If you wanted to try hiking that, there's a sign where you normally start the hike saying permission needed to enter the area. And then some of those are the smaller hills over by Crest Ridge Ecological Reserve, as we're looking north now. I can see Peak 1754, that's where Peak 1763 is. I did that hike back in January. That was another fun hike. I got to climb a few peaks in Crest Ridge Ecological Reserve. And there's big old El Cajon Mountain. El Cajon Mountain, El Capitan Peak, and Silver Dome 2. And now that's northwest now, and I'm going to go zoom a little bit more because I can see the Powell Range, that clump of mountains way off in the distance there. The pointy one on the right is Iron Mountain. The gently sloped one to the left of Iron Mountain is North Iron Mountain. And then the other pointier one off to the left is the Crown of that range, and that's Woodson Mountain. And then we're swinging back to our west and back to Mount Helix. So yeah, that's some pretty good views up here. I guess if I were on Hill 780, which I guess you really can't go over there, you would have to, you would have that, you probably get pretty good views up there too. But I like this. It seems a little more centrally located, so you can get some further reaching views without a bigger mass right in front of you. Oh yeah, and then looking back over towards the northeast again, there's a Cougar Mountain again. It's Cougar Mountain, and there's the namesake of why it's called Cougar Mountain. That's Steel Canyon High School, and the mascot name is the Cougars. So that was the nickname of that hill. It's not an official USGS name, but it's on Peak Bagger. Pretty fun hike. Take a couple pictures. I'm going to start heading down to that saddle. All right. So I guess what I'm going to do is leave this summit, and I'm going to try to see if I can use that trail at the saddle to lead me back towards the road area. See if that works out. Like I said, I've never been to this side before, so yeah, the signage is so weird. Some areas will have several signs that say, "Not a trail, keep out, not a trail, keep out." Or, "Public entry beyond this point is prohibited." You'll have all those signs posted all over. But then as I started going across the road, after crossing the bridge, to start working my way up towards, to try to get to this ridge line, then I realized, hey, this area right here, it's not signed. And then I come across that sign, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this is not, because I didn't see any signage on the other side. And it was a pretty good followable trail to get me towards the ridge line. And then when I saw that trail, I was like, oh man, I hate when that happens, because like I said, I try my best not to go where I'm not supposed to go. So like I said, the signage should be a little bit better. Maybe that's signed that way coming from another direction. I don't know. But like I said, seeing that sign made me think, man, I could have been on those other two peaks enjoying the views up there too. I'm going to try to make a mini three summit bid today. But at least I was able to get up to this one. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and head down to that saddle. And then I'm going to take a trail branching off that way. I didn't see any signage on that. Any negative signage there. So I'm assuming that's going to lead over towards one of the roads leading out of there. If I'm uncomfortable, I'll just take the road back that way towards the Sweetwater Bridge and just go out of my way to cross it there, so I don't have to worry about accidentally going where I'm not supposed to go. I try to advocate that. Like I said, we're human, we make mistakes sometimes, and I don't go out on my way on purpose to disobey regulations and stuff like that. But sometimes you accidentally wander somewhere, and best thing to do when that happens, just look for the best way to get out of it quickly and safely for your own safety. And Just go back the way you came from the last place that you know was all good. That you know was all good and without any access issues. If that ever happens to you. It sure happens to pretty much all of us, especially when we're hiking in areas that aren't really trafficked as much. To be honest, a lot of people like to stick to the big ticket stuff. Like national parks and national forests. Sometimes I just like to go off to local areas that are off the beaten path, and occasionally it'll happen where you think you're all good, and then you come across some random sign out in the middle of nowhere saying unauthorized access beyond this point for public entry. So, like I said, you get into that situation, just take a minute, try to backtrack your way out. Try to backtrack your way out if possible, and go back and just head back towards the last place that you know you were good to enter. So, I've come across this before, and when that happens, it's happened before, and then what I do is I go back the way I came, generally, back to the last place I knew was where I was okay to be, and did something else. You know, maybe I wasn't meant to visit that peak or that canyon or whatever. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes when you're hiking, you gotta be pretty flexible. Be flexible. Your plans might change. So again, as we get to the saddle, I'm going to turn left on the narrow single track, heading out that way. Shouldn't be taking me back to the road. So I don't want to go back over. I don't want to start going over that where I'm not supposed to be. I mean, I'm not really worried about getting in trouble. I'm not really worried about it. But sometimes it's not just about worrying about getting in trouble. Sometimes it's not about, oh, nobody's going to catch me. Oh, I don't want to get caught, or, oh, nobody's going to catch me. It's okay. Sometimes the true test of discipline is sticking to what you know is right, even when nobody's around. All right. So now, here are the two signs again, right at the saddle. That's just the signage for the National Wildlife Refuge. Unauthorized entry prohibited, which probably means motorbikes and stuff like that. So they have that sign over at some of the trailheads for like Lexington Peak and everything, but you're probably not going to be allowed to go hunting. But there's the sign right there. There's the one. It says area beyond this sign closed to all public entry. So I'm going to go follow this trail, take this out. Again, I try to do the right thing when I'm out on trail, whether or not there are rangers around, because I don't want to. I try to do the right thing. It's just in my nature to try to not stir the pot. I love trail. I love going off on adventures, and sometimes I wish I could go to certain spots, but I know that access is denied because of stuff like that, and I do the best I can to respect it. All right, that's enough of my PSA, public service announcement. I know I kind of blabbed on for quite a while about it. I'm gonna head along this and see if this leads me towards my exit. So we're going down the slope here. Some beautiful spiny redberry. Starting to get some new leaves on it. Rhamnus crocea. Of course, laurel sumac. Laurel sumac. Foothill California buckwheat, Aragonum fasciculata variety foliolosum. It's a pretty cool little pass right here, actually. So that's from whence I came, and there's the peak up there. That was a cool. This last bit at the end was kind of steep, but it's nothing out of control. It's a little rocky, so just, careful. Just take your time, especially going down it. Pretty area. So I'm heading down towards the Sweetwater River Valley. So hopefully this trail will lead me towards it. Hoping. So my car's parked, not the main Sweetwater trailhead, like when I hiked up to Cougar Mountain in May. But it was parked on the other side of the Steel Canyon / Sweetwater River Sweetwater Bridge. That structure you saw me heard me point out. So this trail is leading me right down towards the valley. I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that this doesn't lead me to, not leading me into an area I'm really not supposed to be. Cause yeah, I don't see any unauthorized entry signs, so should be okay as far as I can tell. There's a dirt road down there. I see somebody jogging. I don't know what that facility is there. It's probably probably a public works bit over there. I saw somebody down on the other side running along the road. So let's see. A nice little hike. Just kind of embarrassed that I made a snafu. Otherwise, I would have been visiting three small peaks today, which would have really been pretty dope. It would have been really cool to visit 3 peaks today, but I got to visit one, so that's all good. 1 peak is better than 0 peaks. Get a little workout. So yeah, there it is. 761. Yeah, I get some nice views down into the valley. Try to see where this trail is going to lead. If it's going to lead, I think it leads directly to a road that comes in from Campo Road, I believe. If you look on Google Earth, it says El Tai Road or something like that. I think that's where this is going to go, I believe. Where I was hiking from the Steel Canyon Bridge, little parking area on the other side of the bridge, not at the main trailhead. Some people like to just park at the bridge trailhead and just get their pictures and look at a little bit of history. One thing I will say about this little area, once you get away from the canyon bottom, get up towards the hills, you can have it pretty much to yourself. And so, yeah, climbing up towards the peak, I basically had it to myself the entire time. I had a few pictures around here too. I see another sign. Oh, this might not be good. I'm gonna have to go off the trail to look at it. Well, oh boy, this is an ominous sign. Boy. Oh, not again. There's another sign right down there. Oh boy. Oh, hope it's like the sign on my side of the, that was on my side of the saddle over there. Hope it's just the San Diego Wildlife Refuge sign. Like I said, advocate for trying to do the right thing. I wonder when I'm out and about. All right, let's see what happens next. Okay, well, my fears have been allayed. They have been allayed. That's just the unauthorized entry. I'm guessing, again, I've seen that at the trailhead for Lexington Peak, but it refers to motorized vehicles and stuff like that, probably hunting, since it's a wildlife refuge. A lot of these places you can actually go hiking. It's just you can't be riding your ATVs up the trails and everything. So, okay, my fears have been allayed with the sign. It's like, oh man, don't tell me I done messed up again. This has been a very peaceful travel down this side here. This must be a water treatment place. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of funky down here. It smells kind of funky down here. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's a water treatment facility. So, yeah. Okay. So we should be at that road pretty soon. All right. Look at this trail's going to bypass it. Bypassing it to the south right now. I'm guessing that's what that is. It's probably a treatment facility. I think there's an Otay Water Company facility in the area too. Alright, so this trail is leading me a little bit more to the southeast right now. Probably should be leading me towards the road. I think it's El Tai Road. Like I said, I seen in the imagery on Google Earth for El Tai. I don't know, honestly. I know quite a bit of Spanish, but I'm not sure what an El Tai is. E-L for the, and T-A-E. I have no idea what a tie is. But we'll see. All right. Keep going down this. All right, so I see an access to this road here. No negative signage there. And in this, let me see. I'm going to stay right at the fork and see where this goes. Might lead me towards the Sweetwater Bridge again. That small bridge. Yeah, see, there's a gravelly dirt road right over there. I think I'm just about near where I entered, because there's the ridge line. This is the view I had earlier on. Yeah, there's the burn scar. That's up towards Hill 735, where I was gonna visit earlier. Interesting. Maybe we get some forking in the trail here. All right, so here's the road. Like I said, this is, I guess, part of the El Tai Road, or whatever you call it. El Tai, I think, is what this is part of here. Goes that way, and in that way over towards Campo Road, I believe. I believe, like I said, is probably a water treatment facility. It's just over there. So it kind of took me around it a little bit. So I'm here back out on this road, and there's the hill I visited earlier, right up there. Hill 761. So I was able to get back here without any problems. I think what I will do, I'll go this way, probably lead back towards the Sweetwater Bridge, cross back over that. I don't think I'm not super far from it. I'm here right along this little road here, this one that's split off. This will lead to a small little single track, a little cut-off single track that'll take me towards the Sweetwater Bridge. So I don't think I'm that far away from it. If everything were legit, going up towards that ridgeline where I was originally going, this would have made a great loop hike. This would have made a great balloon loop. Yeah. You can hear the Sweetwater River right below us here. So I think I'm probably not that far from the Sweetwater Bridge crossing. So I'm just going to follow that track out that way. Let's see if that's what's going to be the deal. Look at that big bird of prey right here. What if that's a red-shouldered hawk? That's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big bird. It's got some gray on the wings. It's mostly reddish brown. Right there in the center. It's a pretty decent sized bird. There we go. Cool. Didn't get a good enough look at it though. Pretty cool though. I'm just going to go head back towards the bridge. Let's see. Yeah, pretty interesting. Okay, so I'm still working along this. Trying to see if I can still see the bridge. Let's see. Seen it just yet, but there's going to be a little trail that branches off this way pretty soon, I believe. Maybe the way I came up. Some kind of shrub with purplish blooms over there. Huh. Oh, must be California rose blooming in December. That's crazy work there. All right. Let's see. See if I get back to that junction. I'll show you where I made my mistake. Okay, so I'm back at the bridge. The Sweetwater Bridge is just right over there. So, what I originally had planned is take this use trail up here. So I started going up this use trail. So I'm going to start going up towards the ridge line. So you know signage here. There's no signage here saying area closed beyond this point. So I thought I was golden. I'm going up towards the ridge line. That's where I come across a sign much later on. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, see, there's no postage here. And usually when there are illegal trails, usually these agencies are really staunch about putting a sign that says not a legal trail. So that's why I was kind of bewildered when I got up towards the ridgeline. So I was getting up there, I was going to be climbing those other peaks. So basically, that would have if everything went the way I was hoping it would go, I would have probably made it out and back coming back this way, or I could have looped around from. I could have made a balloon loop from peak 761. So, like I said, there's no signage there. That's a pretty well-defined trail. Usually, if these agencies want to stop people from using those trails, the agencies will put signage saying this is not a trail, keep out. Which is pretty crazy. Ooh, a little creaky under the bridge here. There's the bridge again. There's a lot of California rose in there. Goodings willow. Of course, arroyo willow. And the grapevines. And yes, these are grapevines. They're just pretty much leafless for winter because they're deciduous too. They shed their leaves like your agricultural grapes. They go dormant in the winter. All right, so this would have been an interesting balloon loop. But, oh well. Now I know. So, my map is going to refer to this very awkward shape out and back. So if you see that map, it's the way it should be done if you wanted to visit that peak. When I come back to this area again in the future, maybe I can go up that trail if I'm lucky. All right, so I'm gonna start heading back, and I'll see you on the next clip. So I'm just quietly going through this stretch here. It's a very beautiful stretch. I've got more ladyfingers Dudley. It's a Dudley Edulus. Right there in the center. Quite a bit of it along here. And this is the one I saw from earlier. It had huge succulent leaves on it. I like these outcrops here too, with the sage scrub plants dripping over them. Here's that Amorpha fruticosa western false indigo bush. Wow. That's a pretty peaceful walk here. Yeah, so that was so crazy though. That was a pretty nice pretty nice peak too. It's a pretty nice one. Or Coast Live Oak. I like this California sagebrush growing right out of the rock, right out of a little crevice in the rock. How cool is that? How handsome. What a handsome shrub. Yeah, here's, I think this is the one I saw earlier, the Dudley Edulus. So there are a few of them hanging out here with monster rosettes, really fleshy leaves. There's a walnut tree in here too. It's probably Juglans californica, I believe. It's leafless, so I can't really see any leaves on it. Alright, so we're leaving the area. There, see, there it is again. The area beyond this sign closed. All public entry prohibited. Yeah, so if I would have seen that, I wouldn't have gone up that way. Oh well. Like I said, fortunately, I was filming, climbing, some pretty good footage. Pretty darn good footage. So unfortunately, since that was an area is not supposed to be, I'm not going to edit it into my video. I'm going to have to edit it out. Oh, here goes the hawk again. Oh, right to the top of that tree snag. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Red-shouldered hawk, I believe. Yeah, I'd like to see if I can get up in some of these hills sometime too. On this side, I'll have to do some more research. Probably some trial and error hiking too. Pretty nice. That's the one peak I did visit. Right there. Hill 761. Alright, enough yapping and more walking. I heard something off over here making a sound. Wish it would start up again. Sounded like something, some type of a native frog or toad would make. That was it. Almost like a winding sound, a wind-up toy. Hopefully that caught on camera. That was exactly what I heard. I'll have to cross-reference that. But I don't know how many amphibians would be on this side. I don't think there's any water in there. Could be avian, possibly. Oh well. Time to work my way back. Oh, I missed this on the way out. I was too busy watching out for this poison oak right here. Yeah, some of those stems are huge. I think it's really tall broombackers. Wow. It's basically a single trunk, like almost a single trunk tree. That's a pretty cool little broombackers. All right. Keep on moving. Next time I'm in this area, I'll have to check this out. So this is where I'm going to get back to where I'm parked. But I'm gonna step over here for a minute. See where this goes. Kind of curious. See, that's a sign. All public entry prohibited. I wish it would have been on that other side too, so I would have not done that and put in that energy just to realize I wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. Oh well. There's my hill right there. There it is again. Hill 761. Yep. That's it. There's a nice rugged chaparral covered canyon here. That's basically all chaparral on that side, I think. That's what it looks like from here. So there are definitely some other branching off trails you can explore when you're here. Probably what I'll do next time. I'm actually doing it right now a little bit. I'm heading in the general direction of where my car is going to be. If this path goes too far off the mark, then I might just have to turn around and go back. But I'm going to take it for now. It's heading in the same direction. Adds a little slightly different perspective of this area. pretty nice. All right, take a couple pictures around here too. Yeah, the recon on this side shows that, at least as far as I came up that branching off trail, that there are no legitimate trails going up this side of the valley. It's kind of unfortunate. It's been nice to check it out. We got some pretty interesting interpretive signs here. The last one was about the Cajon checker spot butterfly. This is about Acanthamintha licifolia, San Diego thorn mint, which I've yet to see that one. Come spring, hopefully I'll be able to find it. That would be really cool. Acanthamintha licifolia. There's some kind of a branching off over here. Oh, it just goes to that rock. Huh. Been kind of neat though. There was a legit trail on this side. I'll have to do a little more recon in this area to see if I can legitimately get up into those hills over there, which would be really nice. I'm kind of hoping that would be a possibility. And then over on that side, I can't even see it now, but I could see a few minutes ago, you can see the trail I entered, the trail I took at the beginning when I came in from the Steel Canyon Bridge. This is probably an illegal trail too. There's a sign right next to it. Yeah, I see tire tracks in it and everything. Yeah. That'd be nice to get up in those hills though. It looks so cool and fun. Another really super tall brute backers. A few of them around here. Some pretty massive ones. Yeah, I can see my peak right over there, the one on the left. That looks like it's higher, but when I was on top of 761, that was clearly lower. It just looks higher because it's a little bit closer. And I can see the trail. I can see the trail that I descended from that saddle, that fateful saddle. You can see all the willows, cottonwoods, and sycamores. Sycamores mostly still have leaves on them. They're all yellowed and stuff. So we're coming up. It'd be so cool to be able to get up in those hills. Maybe there is a way. Maybe from another side. California gnatcatcher. Yep. Yep. That was all the way over on the other side of the valley. Yep. Pretty good views on that peak, I'll tell you. Pretty nice views up there. All right. Pretty nice, mellow wind down hike. Just some very gentle ups and very gentle downs. I'm getting pretty tired because I've had a full 8-hour day of work before coming out here. And this is the relative calm before the storm hits. Let's see. There's a road over here, dirt road or trail. leading up towards that little shade ramada kiosk. Definitely have to check that out. Maybe next time I'm here. Definitely like to come back and explore some more of this. There's another little single track heading that way, heading relatively north. I'm going to be heading kind of northwest-ish, I believe, over this way. Get me back to where I'm parked. There's another interpretive sign right there. Cool about coastal sage grove. Okay, pretty cool. That's what the predominant vegetation is here, besides non-native grassland, which is this stuff here. Basically all non-native grasses, mostly weedy annuals. Yeah, and you see there's a burn area up there, up on that part of the ridge, kind of closer to where Hill 735 is and Hill 780. When I was on Hill 761, you can definitely see a pretty small burn scar over there as well. All right, looks like we're going to be joining a crossroad. I'm going to follow this straight. Should take me closer to the Steel Canyon Bridge. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice here. All right, I'm just going to follow this straight through. Right here, straight through the intersection, and I'll probably be going out that way towards the bridge. It'll lead me out near the actual trailhead parking lot, not right at it, where I'm going to be going. You can get a path to go that way anyways, but I'm going to be staying closer to the Steel Canyon Bridge, and that's where I'm going to be leaving this facility. I mean, I can see where the sycamore tree is, the old sycamore tree over there that I visited when I first started hiking. Yeah, because I think I came from here, but I passed that sycamore. This is where I went before I took this jug handle shaped trail. Yeah, I remember that junction right there, that sign. It's also probably winding near the sycamore before I get out of the place. Snap a couple more pictures. It's starting to get dark, so my photography is not going to be as vivid. So maybe get a couple last minute ones. Here's another shrub that's related to the broom baccharis. Coyote brush. Baccharis pilolarus subspecies consanguinea. Yep. It's a broom baccharis. It's a broom baccharis cousin. Yeah, see there's a coyote brush there. That's a broom baccharis. Kind of similar looking. The leaves are a little wider, shorter but wider on, I'd say about close to the same length, but definitely wider than broom baccharis. So, yeah, I believe I came from that side over there. I'm going to go this way. I think I might have, I don't know. Yeah, I came through this way too. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, yep, I remember this. Leads right back to the little kiosk. Yep, there's that sycamore tree. Or it could be two sycamores. I don't know, it could be one. That'd be cool if that's just one root system, one organism. Sycamores do get multi-trunked after they burnt or got knocked over or damaged. So they'll sprout it from the roots, just like a chaparral shrub will do. Like a shrub on steroids. It's a very handsome tree. That's a big one. Look at the trunks on that. That's just so awesome. What a gorgeous California sycamore. That could be one, or maybe two. Maybe two. Wouldn't be surprised if it's one though. Okay, well, I'm gonna head back this way. The main parking lot over here. That's where I parked when I went up to Cougar Mountain up there. And when I did Steel Canyon Bridge was just over there. Ooh, California brittle bush or California salvia, California bush sunflower. It's already blooming. Salvia californica. Cool. Yeah, it's blooming. I'm trying to remember if they have a fragrance to their flower heads. Yes, they do. They smell like regular sunflowers. They smell just like Helianthus annuus. A little bit of perfume. Kind of pleasant. There's white sage right in there. Old floral parts there. All right. So now, I'm going to join the road back to the Steel Canyon Bridge. You can watch my episode on Cougar Mountain and Steel Canyon Bridge for a little more history on that. Turn left here. Bring this back to the car. So I guess I'll go ahead and film this segment. Going through this truss-style bridge. It's all the fall leaves on the ground. All these desert grapevines. It is Gertiana. All leafless because they're dormant. They shed their leaves in autumn. Like your agricultural grapes, they shed their leaves in autumn and are leafless in the wintertime. There's a grapevine up there. A lot of grapevines here. There's Compa Road right over there. This bridge is almost 100 years old. Pretty nice. There's more of that Rhododendron, the native giant reed grass. Now you can see you can tell which ones are Arroyo willows. They're still half green. They tend to only be semi-deciduous here. So this is a Salix lacceolipus. Down here they only tend to be semi-deciduous. They still keep some green leaves on them until they leaf out. Usually in midwinter. They leaf out pretty early too. Higher elevations, they're fully winter deciduous like you'd expect. But here in low elevation Southern California, often stay green, partially green all year. All right. This is basically going to do it for me. Parked right over there, white car. And this is going to do it for me. Thanks for coming along. At least I got to get you to one of those peaks. hopefully next week be able to catch some break in the storms, to be able to hit some more stuff up next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next hike.